you know, there's times in life where, like, you know, things weren't always going my way, or I wasn't having what I wanted at times. But, you know, to kind of just keep working, you know, don't get too hard on yourself, but just, you know, look for the progress and things.
Is there a difference in the way you're working this preseason versus last preseason?
Oh, definitely, yeah. You know, as far as expectations, I'm just kind of letting everything handle themselves instead of, like, you know, having preconceived ideas. I'm just taking whatever I can get.
And I just want to make sure I'm right. You didn't start playing football until your senior year in high school?
Yes, sir. Well, kind of funny story with that. I had transferred to a new school my senior year to play basketball. And first day of school, the principal seen me, and he kind of like called me over, said, "You need to play football." I wasn't going for it. I was like, "No, I came here to play basketball." So he actually had to threaten me with detention for me to get on the football field. So I finally, you know, tried it out, and it worked out pretty well.
You talked a lot about the kind of expectations. How hard was it to maybe get away from kind of block those out last year when you came in?
It was really hard because, you know, I feel like it's sometimes put in your face sometimes here, but and obviously being new to it, being new to the South and how football is treated here was definitely all a culture shock for me.
Is it intimidating at all with the shoes that you're tasked with filling this season?
I don't think it is. I mean, as an athlete, as a competitor, this is always like what you want. You know, you want them high expectations. You want people to expect a lot out of you.
So, what did you learn from Derek that you think will help you this year meet those expectations?
I learned a lot. I learned how, you know, how to carry yourself, kind of the approach you got to take to practice. Kind of like, I remember last year, Derek didn't have a sack till about the fourth game, to Florida, I believe. And that just kind of, he showed me just to keep working, like, be more persistent and don't let little things bother you too much.
How good do you think you and Kyle and Darrell can be?
I think we could be as good as we want to be. I mean, we all have the physical attributes. Obviously, we're young, a little inexperienced, but I think that'll handle themselves.
Were you able to relax? Obviously, you guys worked extremely hard in the weight room, but were you able to personally just kind of relax knowing that you're going to be at defensive end this fall when you kind of fought, you know, moving inside a little bit last year?
Yeah, you know, the funny thing about that is, you know, I fought it for a while, but then when I actually, like, did it, it actually wasn't too bad. So, I mean, I told Coach I could do it again this year. Like, whatever he needs me to do, I'm more comfortable with it. I think the fear of me playing inside came from not really knowing what was going on. But, you know, with obviously a year under my belt, I feel a lot more comfortable.
Do you think there could be scenarios where, you know, rush situations where they could still slide you inside, or they might?
Yeah, we've talked about that with Coach Hope, definitely on third downs. You know, if we game plan maybe during the week, we know the guard's a little weak. They could slide me down inside and rush from the three.
What have those film sessions been like with Coach Hope? You know, have they been different than Stripling? Has it been just kind of a new good voice there? Or obviously Stripling's still around as well, but
very critical. Coach Hope keeps it very real with you. So if you're doing something bad, you're gonna know you're doing something bad. So it's not too much different than Coach Strip, I would say.
Just not having played till your senior year in high school, how much do you think the issues last year were just a matter of still being a little raw and still being relatively new to the game, or was that an excuse?
Yeah, I think no, I don't like making excuses. I wouldn't want to say that's a big factor, but it had something to do with it, just being new to the game and, you know, being thrusted inside the SEC. So I feel like this year, this time around, like, I'm much more comfortable with it in my head.
What caused y'all to move to Canada in the first? I guess you were about 5 or so.
Yeah, so around a year or two after I was born, a civil war broke out in the Congo. So then we moved to pretty much escape the war.
You talked about the culture shock of, I guess, seeing how big football is down here. I guess was there a moment where you realized that it's a pretty big deal down here, and it means a lot to a lot of people?
Yeah, you know, there's definitely moments throughout the year. You know, where either maybe speculations or things going on, I kind of realize, you know, our every move is being watched. But at the same time, you know, it's a good thing. You know, you as an athlete, you always want to be somewhere where you're being, you know, critiqued to the extreme. So.
This was one of those surprising moments, a tweet about a FIFA game?
Oh, definitely, yeah. No, I actually haven't played FIFA since. You know, Khalil always tries to get me to play with him, but I'm staying away from that.
You're just blown away that happened?
Yeah, no, definitely just how the rumor mill can, get going sometimes. So that was definitely a good lesson for me.
Jonathan, what's the best compliment any of the coaches have given you about what you bring to this team?
I guess they've said I'm much more mature this time around, and just kind of like my work ethic. I kind of just I don't really say too much. I just work, and I guess that gets other people going too.
Anything about your physical skill set?
Yeah, obviously I got, a good frame. With Coach Rock, managed to add about 20 pounds in the weight room, about 275 right now. So, obviously I'm a big, imposing body that could play along the defensive line. So, Coach is happy I can bring that to the table.
Bob Schuba said you're on a mission. Do you feel you kind of have something to prove after last year? Has it put a chip on your shoulder at all? Or?
Yeah, definitely. Like, from the moment I signed to Tennessee, I think we can all remember the signing day ordeal. But, I took it very personal to, come in here and make an impact. And kind of this offseason, like what I told Coach Shoop was, I'm going to try to work this offseason the hardest I've worked my whole life. So that's kind of been my approach, just every day.
You talk about some of the negatives you face with everybody caring a lot about football. What positives have you seen with just the love of the sport in the South?
Kind of the people you get to meet. I've met a lot of great people, through connections, either with VFLs. So I feel like just the sense of community that you can get is something that I've personally never had in my life before.
How have you kind of already started to pay it forward with some of those younger defensive linemen behind you? Obviously, Derek mentored you, but, Matthew Butler, Kayvon Bennett, some of those guys, they're freshmen that you guys may have to count on this year. Yeah,
no, it's funny actually having to be in that position now. I've seen why, a lot of things Derek did, a lot of things with Troy, Corey, they may, at the time, may have seemed a little harsh or mean, but being an older guy now, you kind of understand the importance of needing everybody. It might be a week that I can't play, and we can't drop the level of competition just because I'm not around. So Matthew Butler is doing a great job, Kayvon Bennett doing a great job, DeAndre Johnson doing a great job. So they're all just willing to learn, and I love that about those guys.
Thanks.
Thank you.